So this is my first year watching playoffs basketball, right? Actually, like watching every single game, right? For those that don't know, I started watching basketball basically like last year a little bit, but like this year seriously. And these games are fire. Like straight up, these games are just they're so good. All right, they are so good. Just Denver versus Lakers. The second game just finished, and man, if you thought the first game was peak basketball, the second one is even better. That comeback by Denver, I'm rooting for them. Right, I'm rooting for them for two reasons. For two reasons. One, the first reason, Jokic has the same birthday as me. He's just a year older than me, but he's got the same birthday, so immediately I'm rooting for him. And then the second reason is, well, he's European. So I always gotta root for my European brothers. Team EU. Yeah, that's the way I see it. So if it was Giannis or him or Luca, I would be rooting for them. I always do. All right, that's my European brethren. So how do you think the series will go? Honestly, I don't think Denver will sweep. They obviously just had home court advantage now they're going to the Lakers. But I do think, like my prediction before the series started was Game Five. It was gonna be 5 games, and I still stick with that. I think what's gonna happen is that Lakers will win the next game, but they'll lose Game Four and Game Five. I think that's ultimately how it's gonna go. Now again, I'm not an expert. I literally just started watching basketball like seriously. Like when I say seriously, I mean like every single night. About like 6-7 months ago. So this year. And the reason for that is because I'm in the UK and the games are at like 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m. during the weekdays. I'm just like, I've got work in the morning, so it's not really like I can watch those games. But where there's a way, there's a will. Where there's a will, there's a way. I guess that's the correct way of doing it. Yeah. In regards to the other game, Heat versus Celtic. Game two is happening today. Lighting is probably pretty bad here. Game two is happening today. Jimmy Butler is just Jimmy Butler. Like straight up, like Himmy Butler, alright? Himmy Butler. Timothy, first of his name, the butler of Sir Knights. That's him, right? That's who Jimmy Butler is. So the way I see it is pretty much just a case of can he perform like that again? And the answer to that may shock you. The answer is yes. So I'm going with the Heat to win again. The Heat is it's just Heat, right? Miami Heat, not Heats. So I'm going with Miami Heat to win again. I really like what Adebayo is doing. I think as a whole they are just very good. Like I know people underestimated them because of their seed, but I think there was a quote because I am kind of obsessed with things that I like. So now that I'm really liking basketball, I'm kind of obsessed with it. So like I go back for like interviews from like 5 years ago just to like watch and read and listen and absorb everything. It's a bad habit of mine that I get obsessed with things and then I immediately like drop it after a while. But I think there was a quote from a few years ago from Jimmy Butler where he said something along the lines of like he doesn't even try in the regular season, he only tries in the playoffs. So I mean that shows I don't have a favorite player, but like I don't have in general. I don't have a favorite player. I don't have a team either. I just enjoy watching all teams basically. Traditionally it's like Denver, Bucks, uh, Lakers, Dallas, Nets. I feel like a lot of I basically watch every team, right? But there's like specific teams that I tend to watch more just because they have that star player in my opinion, and I tend to like the slower star players, not the ones that like rely on physicality, but the ones that rely sort of on like their intelligence or their reading of the game, which is why I like Luca. And it helps that Luca and Jokic are both European. That just helps a smidge, just a smidge, Right? I'm biased. I know, but I'm not biased towards teams. I'm biased towards players. In all honesty, and considering that there's 2 players that I really like, or 3 players, 4 players really that I really like going up against each other in this series, I'm not really biased for anyone specifically here because I like Jokic, I like AD. I like obviously LeBron and Jamal Murray. So, and the fact that for the most part they're turning up. You could make the argument about game two, but for the most part they're turning up. So I'm just very happy. In the other series, JT is just I don't know. Jason Tatum is just he's he's all over the place, isn't it? Like let's be honest here, right? He had. Well, I don't know what game it was. I think it was game 6 against. Was it game 6? It wasn't. Was it a full game 7 series? Yeah, I think it was in game 6 against the Sixers. When he had like an awful first 3 quarters, and then just in the fourth quarter just turns up. But it's very similar to actually like Jamal Murray in game 2 versus the Lakers. But like in game 7, he just showed his brilliance, and it's like one of those things where it's like, I don't know which Jason Tatum you're gonna get. Like it's very questionable which one you're gonna get. And that's why I kind of like Jaylen Brown a little bit more for him to not be the star player, but I just think he's the more consistent player. Versus Jason Tatum has like a lot more of the ups and downs that typically come with that typically don't come with like a superstar status, where like it's more up than down. Whereas with Jason Tatum in the postseason, I feel like it's more up and down and up and down and up and down. It's like a roller coaster slide, and you're just like, whoa, okay, calm down. Yeah, my prediction, as I said, it's game 5 for Denver to win it. And in regards to the Heat versus Celtics game, I have not been a fan of the Celtics all season, I must admit. So I've not been a fan of the Heat all season either. So, but I trust Timothy Butler. So my prediction for that one will be, I think it's going to be, because I think Celtics are so much better. I think it's going to be like a game 7 for the Heat. And that's so. Originally I went with like game 7 for Celtics. That was my prediction like beforehand, but I'm going with game 7 for the Heat. That's kind of my prediction. I don't know. Playoff basketball is amazing. I don't know why I didn't get into the sport sooner, but I have now. So I wanted to share my thoughts because I'm just marveling at the excitement every single night.